Okay, so hello, this is my review of the movie Game Night. Now, first of all, I'd like to apologize. I've fallen behind a bit. I've had a lot of things to worry about. Mainly the From Pixels to Pictures review of Mortal Kombat. That is coming. I have seen the movie. For some reason, the script is taking a long time to work on. But I'm also trying to finish A New Dawn, which is the fan fiction that I have, which is unrelated to the YouTube channel. And also, I have I'm doing live streams of Horizon Zero Dawn, which you can now see on my channel. I'm getting better at live streaming. I'm trying to do that more often, and who knows, I might become more of a YouTube live streamer. But I like talking about movies and video games, which is why the From Pixels to Pictures review is so popular. Wait, they're not really popular because they're not getting reviews. I'm just tooting my own horn here. They are so popular. I'm like, it was the most popular web series ever. Period. No. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Game Night. That's what I'm here to review. So I was not intending to watch this movie. It looked fine, like just a dumb comedy. But even just from watching the trailer, I knew this was not an Oscar movie. And I try not to see movies that I know are not going to be Oscar movies. But basically, my family was just looking for something to watch, and mom and dad were tired from work and they wanted to see a comedy. And mom and dad watched the trailer for this, and I was a little bit concerned because they were both laughing a lot during the trailer. But mom is the kind of person who cannot handle violence, so I'm like, well, it's a comedy, but it's also an action movie, and there's definitely a lot of violence. So I don't know. I think this is essentially a black comedy, is what you would call it. It is an action movie mixed with comedy, but I think it's primarily focused around being a comedy. And what are my thoughts on this film? This is going to be a pretty short review, but it was fun. It was a totally harmless way to spend an hour and a half. It was funny. It had a few good action bits in it, and it had some great jokes, but I don't think that there's anything terribly outstanding. I mean, it is 100% not an Oscar movie, and I think people know that going in. The only category where I could possibly imagine this film would have even a tiny bit of a shot would be original screenplay. And even then, I'm not saying it could get in like the major awards. I'm saying maybe like you could like if this popped up somewhere in like a Chicago International Film, like in some minor indie film award voted on by critics, and this randomly gets an original screenplay nomination. And even then I'd be like, oh wow, that's a little surprising. But it wouldn't be like the most like, it would be surprising, but it wouldn't be like, original screenplay is the only category that this film has any shot of getting in. And that's not to say that anything else in the film is bad. It's well edited, as you would want for an action comedy. The ensemble cast is all good. I don't know if there's a true standout in the cast, but everyone does a good job. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams have very good chemistry on screen. They make for a very believable married couple. The rest of the cast, Billy Magnuson, Sharon Horgan, Lamorne Morris, Kylie Burnbury, Kyle Chandler, Jesse Plemons, Michael C. Hall, and a small cameo from Jeffrey Wright, which is funny because I watched this the same day I watched the Westworld Season 2 finale. No spoilers, but let's just say that I have many more questions than I did before I watched that season finale. So it's a good show. I'd hope it doesn't turn into like Lost or whatever, where it becomes so complicated nobody can follow it. I'm getting off topic, but there's really not a whole lot that you can say about Game Night. It is, first of all, it's a movie that doesn't really need the theater. If you saw it in the theater, it was fine, but it works like we just watched it at home. We rented it on demand, and I imagine people are gonna rent it on demand or maybe see it on a plane. I could imagine the movie playing very well there. It works as just a fun distraction for an hour and a half that you don't want to think too much about afterwards. It has some interesting twists and turns that, and a lot of them don't really make sense when you think about it. The only thing that I really remember as sticking out well is how the attributes of certain games were worked into the screenplay. Like we saw, anytime there was like an aerial shot of the city or the neighborhood, it looked like something out of Monopoly, and it was stylized just enough so that it looked like that. But there were also some very subtle details in the screenplay, like a scene where Bateman and McAdams have to communicate using charades. Is well, that's a thing, but no, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering, but the characters do evoke games, like in the scene where one of the couples is there's an argument because I forget the name, but the man's wife apparently slept with a celebrity, and he's trying to guess who the celebrity was, and it plays very much like a game of Guess Who. Or I don't want to spoil too much, but there are other scenes that evoke similar childish games from an action set point or from a dialogue standpoint, and I like how movies, or I like stories about ordinary people thrust into extraordinary situations, and that's really what this is about. It's reminded me of Santa Clarita Diet in a way, where that show is very much about a very ordinary family thrust into this crazy situation that still act their normal selves. They act their normal family roles, and all the people in this movie are very out of their element in this sudden action sequence, which is where the comedy comes from. And it's a fun movie. It is a fun... I joked afterwards with my mom that sometimes as a family we have a movie night, and sometimes we have a game night, and tonight we had both. And that's pretty much just what it is. There's not much going through it. It is not going to be an Oscar movie. It is not. But if you're just looking for something fun to pass the time, you'll get it. It is, and it's not even like a hardcore recommendation. I am not a big fan of pure comedies as a rule, like movies that are strictly designed to make you laugh. I mean, I enjoy them, but unless there's like some sort of a deeper emotional hook to them, I don't really get into them. And so this was fun for what it was. It's just a straightforward comedy, and as a straightforward comedy, it works, and it has a good cast, and it has good editing, and the script had some clever touches to it, but yeah, there's really not much more that you can say about it. It is a good, enjoyable comedy. If you're looking for just a nice thing to watch to cool down or lay off some stress, then this is a good movie. If you want to watch it, I'm not going to stop you. But I believe there are better movies to watch. So that's game night, and thank you for watching, and I will try to get back to some other reviews. This was not scripted, you could probably tell, but I have other stuff coming. I have a From Pixels to Pictures review, and I also have Oscar predictions for July coming up very soon. So that's all. See you later. Bye.